As a full-time guitar teacher, I am constantly on the lookout for new tech and gadgets that can help improve my students' overall workflow and enjoyment as they learn their craft and their instrument. And so, as you'd expect, I'm constantly trying out different software and hardware that I think would have the possibility of improving my students' experience. The Soundbrenner Core 2 is no exception. If you're unfamiliar with the Soundbrenner company, they've had kind of a history of building out really great software kind of integration with wearable products. The Soundbrenner smartwatches is what they're known for. And what it does is it offers you the ability to have a pulse through your wrist or wherever you connect it to yourself while you're listening to the metronome. And you can do it without listening to the metronome as well. It might just send a pulse directly through you as you're practicing, but you can pair the two as well. And I've found it's really positively reinforcing when you can actually feel the pulse rather than just hear it. I think most of us musicians are used to listening to the metronome and, just with IEMs being used so much in a live kind of component these days, everyone's used to hearing the metronome, but I think there's just an added benefit when you actually feel the tactile pulse while you're practicing. And so I've been using these for the last few years. In fact, as many of you know, I actually did a earlier review of kind of the original Soundbrenner metronome watches back in 2020 during COVID. I think it was 2020. It might be 2021. But either way, I did actually purchase one of these during COVID from Sweetwater, and I just wanted to try it out. I wanted to see what the experience and workflow was like. And I was really impressed. I think the execution was, it's an early gen, but I think they did a really good job with a lot of different things. Now, Soundbrenner actually did reach out to me this year as they've made some updates and have kind of changed some of the things out on the device, and they wanted to know my thoughts on it. And so I was super thrilled, as I love trying new things, especially when I was impressed with it before. I love trying the updates as well. So this is my take on the updated Soundbrenner Core 2. So we're going to dive into some of the workflow enhancements that they've kind of added since the last gen that I had kind of looked at, and see if it's something that might be a good fit for you. So let's dive in. One of the new benefits in the update to the Core 2 is the ability to track your progress, both in the app and directly on the watch itself. These in turn both synchronize to each other, so you can kind of get a layout of your last week's practice just based on looking at what you tracked on the watch in the app.
1, 2, 3, 4.
One of the things I love about tracking your progress is it keeps you accountable by sending you notifications throughout the week when you're slipping up on your practice, which then encourages you to practice more. You can, of course, pause the practice session at any point in time on the app or on the smartwatch itself and come back and resume and finish your practice session at another point. Another little add-on that I thought was really cool is when you complete your practice session, you get a little positive reinforcement. For previous Soundbrenner users, you'll note that in the latest version of the Soundbrenner watches, they went with a microphone tuner as opposed to a vibration-sensitive tuner in this latest version. In the past, Soundbrenner would send a little mount that was a magnet that you could mount to any of your guitar headstocks and then clip the Soundbrenner head to the mount. I actually prefer this option as you can use it with more guitars and don't have to have a bunch of different mounts for your different guitars. As you can kind of see in this video, one of the things I noticed with the tuner is when tuning with both the watch and the app open, they don't seem to synchronize in the way that the other features had been synchronized. So you can kind of see the watch itself is saying one thing and the app is saying another. On the Core 2 itself, or the app as well, you can adjust the different parameters of your metronome, including your BPM, meter, and different note resolutions as well. You can also adjust things like the accent and strength and intensity. Once you're ready, double tap.
1, 2, 3, 4.
As you can see, the Soundbrenner can be configured to count you in so that you have time to catch the next downbeat. Additionally, the app synchronizes flawlessly with the Soundbrenner wearable.
1, 2, 3, 4.
As you can see, I'm using the Core 2 on the included wristband that allows the vibration to be felt up my wrist, forearm, and shoulder, helping me to feel the pulse of the metronome, and this helps me stay in time.
One, 2, 3, 4.
It's important to note that you don't just have to wear the Core 2 as a smartwatch. Soundbrenner also includes an adjustable body band. Simply detach the head of the Core 2 from the wristwatch and connect it to the mount on the body band. I actually prefer to use it on my thigh or even on my chest rather than my wrist, as I really feel the vibration more strongly.
It's been 3 years since we even talked,
Soundbrenner additionally throws in a dB meter into the smartwatch, which is kind of a nice touch, just so you're aware of the levels that you're listening to. I can't vouch for how accurate it is, and I did notice it is kind of finicky, because sometimes it'll light up crazy and warn you to protect your ears if you hit into those higher decibel levels, and then other times it won't. In fact, a couple times I've had it actually trigger a warning to protect your ears when I just coughed or sneezed. So it might be a little finicky, but that's typically not what people are buying this watch for. It's just a nice touch more than anything. One thing that I would like to see in the future is that the Soundbrenner would be able to integrate with Guitar Pro, which is a platform that allows teachers to transcribe different songs and students to practice along to said transcriptions and be able to slow down the tempo to a applicable speed and then gradually work their way up. And it's something that's very important in my teaching business, and I think the integration would be really cool if Soundbrenner would link up with that. For a reason I couldn't get, no matter how hard I tried, the Soundbrenner to connect via Bluetooth into Guitar Pro. So I just don't think it's supported right now after I reached out to Soundbrenner's tech support as well. So hope to see that in the future. Thanks so much for watching my review of the Soundbrenner Core 2. I hope you got something useful out of it or learned a little bit more about the product itself and how you might implement it in your own workflow. I know I'm super excited to continue using and recommending the Soundbrenner to my students and to be able to even use it in my workflow on a daily basis as well when I'm practicing on my own. It truly is an awesome piece of tech, and I really believe that the tactile vibrations that are incorporated into the metronome will really help to improve your overall experience as you're practicing. If you're interested in purchasing the Core 2 or any of Soundbrenner's product line, check out the link in the description where you can save 20% off your order. You could also go to soundbrenner.com, and when you make your purchase, use coupon code JoshuaKrellSB to save that 20%. These are affiliate links, and so they do give me a tiny kickback for each order that people make. And so it's a little way that you could help support my channel here on YouTube. Thanks so much for continuing to watch these videos. I super appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that they're helpful. If you enjoyed this video and you like all things guitar and music tech, you should subscribe, because that's what we talk about. I love engaging with each and every one of you, so feel free to leave a comment if you have any different topics that you'd like me to talk about or different pieces of gear that you'd like reviewed, and I'll see what I can do. As always, I do appreciate each and every one of you.